Hey there, neighbor. Welcome to a comments video. That's not even the right musical.
No, but it's the sequel, so, you know.
It's in the family. So we pulled a whole bunch of our favorite comments off of Ravenbrooks, and we're going to be answering a bunch of them, or responding to a bunch of them, or judging you based on a bunch of them. I don't know which yet. So let's just jump into it, shall we? M. Taya, this game does not deserve a song this good. Wow, welcome to the comments. To add a dash of salt, just a dash of salt.
This person was not the only one who felt that way. You guys made a song that is way better than the game. The game is trash, is what people were saying.
Let's just start right here and say, I was excited about the original Hello Neighbor, and I felt a little let down. When the second game came out, I was actually really impressed with it. I felt like there's still some bugs and things like that, but I would say the second Hello Neighbor game actually seemed better than the original.
I do feel like, yeah, it had a lot more interesting things going for it than just going around the creepy neighbor's house and trying to do this like kind of order of events sort of thing.
Yeah, I feel like the physics all worked a little bit better. Like the new items and stuff worked better. That I know that doesn't make it for everybody. I know that doesn't even make it necessarily good that they added things and changed stuff. But I found it to be an improvement over the first one.
From killing? This has such a different tone compared to the first one. Hello Neighbor 1 musical. Ah, what a joyous sunshiny day. Let's go see what that lovable neighbor is up to. Hello Neighbor 2 musical. People are missing or dying. Everyone is in on it. Trust no one, not even your neighbors. We're all going to die. Ah!
But what about the middle one?
That one just has literally the tone shift in it. Like it starts out so happy-go-lucky and Santa's here, we're gonna get presents and the neighbor's grumpy, isn't that funny? And then he dies.
So what you're saying is it's the bridge between the two that a lot of people don't seem to realize is canon. Leonidas Hernandez, they are trying to make it sad that the neighbor is dying, but this MF is riding a fire extinguisher.
That is true. This is a very fair comment. It's blunt, but fair.
Someone said it was like he's going through like 9 floors, or the Empire State Building.
Have you seen, though, the neighbor's house? It is like 9 floors, okay? There's a lot going on there. Also, I'd like to imagine it's like the 7 stages of grief. Are there 7 stages?
There's 5.
In Hello Neighbor universe, he's going through a couple extra. Each floor of the neighbor's house is definitely a stage of grief, and Jason is just rocketing up through them all at once.
It's like bargaining part 2.
This is shock value in like we built it into a very tragic, sad moment. And we're just like, we refuse to back down from the silly thing happening. And we also refuse to acknowledge how silly it is. Completely undermining every emotional moment by having him fly away on a fire extinguisher. And they're committing to it. They won't stop. Someone make them stop. Rachel Long. Jason has grown up so much since his first appearance on the channel, especially vocally. Compare the song to his performance in Smarter Than You. So is Jordan, for that matter. And Emily Brown is an OG voice on the channel as well, isn't she? From Pac-Man the Musical, bringing all the collaborators together. Well, I'm so glad, first of all, Rachel, that you noticed that, yes, we did poll a bunch of different people from various projects. We like to do that. Nathan Hall, the mayor, is actually pulled in from our Best Fiends musical.
That isn't on our channel, so we understand
that one's a little harder to find, but
yeah, and Jason was especially fun to see kind of how he had grown up because he was 14, I want to say, when he was in Smarter Than You.
He was very young. It was fun to see the difference of him playing like kid roles to now he's like the leading man on stage and like, you know, has to have like facial hair and like the bass parts and stuff and like sweeping ladies off their feet in the dance numbers or whatever. It's like, it's really funny.
Then can we just discuss Jason's mustache for a hot second before we move on?
It's a fake mustache.
It was a fake mustache, and I think that was one of my favorite things is him walking in, you know, a little bit grown up, you know, kind of put together, like really like professional when he walks in the door, and then me handing him the world's worst mustache.
Can you please put this on and completely undermine how handsome you are?
You are allowed to do that as an adult. When you're grown up, you can grow a terrible mustache.
Okay.
Which he said he was considering doing it, but I've noticed he hasn't done it
you
yet.
know, I think he was lying. I don't think he actually plans to grow that mustache.
Every time he thinks about it now, he goes back and watches the video. And it's like, ugh.
TWW36MUFC. Amazing song, very good, and everyone who worked on this is so talented. But I just couldn't get the reason why the taxidermist wasn't put into the musical, even if they are shown in the beta of Hello Neighbor 2.
This is a twofold question that I feel like I saw, because a lot of people also in the comments asked why we had a doctor, because the doctor's not in the game. Taxidermist was kind of, I feel like, a harder character to do, especially their environment, because everybody is in the, like, you know, the baker has their bakery, and so on and so on. The taxidermist, I think, was going to be a hard kind of
in their house
to create.
But don't you want to see Gwen disguised as the taxidermist? We've cheated you all out of getting to see Gwen play the taxidermist. He's like a weird old man with another creepy mustache. That could have been Gwen.
I could have grown a mustache?
Yo, this mic at some point came into my face.
Yeah, why is it down this low? That's not where it belongs. How long has it been?
I don't know.
Yo, that microphone is getting real interesting.
I don't know when that came in.
I did it. I'm the guilty party. I'm the one that set up the microphone and I didn't tighten it down. And
so the doctor just fit into the sequence of events so much better, especially since we were trying to connect it to the last Hello Neighbor musical we'd done where there had been a tragic accident. A doctor might have the inside scoop on what that was.
Part of the story, if you look at the paperwork, is that the cult is essentially kicking out other businesses so that these like town members can succeed, and that feels more like, you know, like doctors and, you know, the bakery owner and like small business kind of things. A taxidermist felt a little like they work for themselves. I also though like the idea that like the face removal, what if that had been done by a taxidermist instead of like a doctor? Like, oh, the local taxidermist can cut your face off and sew a different one on you. The bird head would have made sense as a taxidermist. It's like, I killed a really large bird.
Take his mask off, and it's not a mask, his head just comes off.
He's like got a bird face.
Jamie says, I can't believe Putin moved his... I can't even read this comment without laughing. I can't believe Putin moved into his father's old house and buried him. I don't know where to begin with this comment.
Is this an autocorrect or is this like...
I don't know. Either it's autocorrect or you, for some reason, heard his name was Putin even though his name is Quentin. Or you just literally are
is it a joke?
Messing with... I don't know.
Yeah, like...
I don't know.
That's how I read it, I feel like, or heard it was... that like someone like was like joking that he looks like Putin. I don't think he does though.
Well, I can't believe Putin moved into his father's house and buried him either.
That's news to me.
But, you know, what goes on in Russia stays in Russia.
Nadia, the PMMM. I've never seen the game, but I love this. I feel bad though. I would have taken the cupcakes. She looked so sad when he just walked away.
Is it sadness or is it more suspicion? Because she notices that like the little do not enter sign is moving.
That's true.
Honestly, the bigger thing is you shouldn't eat the cupcakes. It's hinted at in the musical, and it's basically the way we planned it was that the cupcakes actually, they're made of people.
Silent Breed is people!
They're getting rid of people that the forest protectors have sacrificed by putting them into baked goods. So...
Yikes.
Unless you have an appetite for hands.
I was hungry for hands. Give me a break.
The rumbling in my tumblies, the only hands would satisfy. Was there anything that we had in that bakery on set that you guys would have actually liked to eat?
Didn't we eat like a crap ton of it?
Did we? I couldn't remember what we.
There were regular cupcakes. There were mini cupcakes. There were lollipops which we did not eat and are actually in our prop storage right now.
But I wanted to. Every time I see them, I'm like, I just want to.
There were weird marshmallow candies that I think all of us tried and then refused to eat the rest of. And then there was like unicorn poops.
Were those one of the ones?
And they had little like chocolate bars in the middle of them, and there was something.
Candy, not real unicorn poop.
Real unicorns poop.
Do you know how expensive real unicorn poop is?
For real.
Muhammad's anxiety. I love how they put the golden apple Easter egg near Peterson's grave.
Well, thank you.
Oh, that's Sepperton's grave, actually.
They're the same person. Shh.
We're glad you noticed the golden apple, and we like leaving little game Easter eggs in as many places as possible. When there's little references that we can put where it's like, we totally played the game, we're totally in on those secrets with you guys.
Not well, but we did play it. Isn't it like speculated in Hello Neighbor that like someone is buried somewhere and like, I mean like he had like people in his basement or something? I don't remember. I never finished the game. It was too hard. The physics were too janky. But I think there was something to do with people being imprisoned and or buried places, and it was very, very sus.
J Dudified says, is it true that you haven't any suspects? Try that Biffalo Bub poster behind you. I heard he kidnapped a doctor.
So here's a question. Does the Shovel Werewolf take place in the same universe then as Ravenbrooks? Because Biffalo Bub is literally on a poster.
Hasn't Biffalo Bub been on a lot of posters?
I was gonna say, is Keep Talking Nobody Explodes in the same universe as Ravenbrook?
Actually, if you've watched The Shovel Werewolf Season 4, you will know that Biffalo Bub exists across many universes.
Oh, well played! There you go. So the only question is, which universe's Biffalo Bub is in Ravenbrook's?
Ooh.
Oh, but clearly he's wanted in
I was
every
gonna say,
universe.
like, he's wanted for something everywhere. Viper V. I like how the cop still has the hat on under the hood.
I feel like Jordan asked us. He's like, should I keep the hat on or not? And we were like, it's funny.
Who are they hiding it from? They're literally sacrificing this guy.
True.
I hope his corpse in the brownies doesn't come back and tell someone.
I'm imagining the cult robes are part of the ritual and not so much to hide their identity.
That's what I think. To summon the guest. Who literally just walks through a curtain.
That's right.
But he won't do it unless you're wearing the robe with the hood up.
It's right.
So you gotta do it. Dress for the job you want to have.
A very strict dress code.
Jammin McCurley says the mayor is using a cell phone while everyone else has a landline. So this is not possible.
All right, kids. Let me tell you a thing or two. Let me learn you something about how telephones used to work. In the olden days, we had something called party lines. Party lines were something that a bunch of landline phones, especially in the same neighborhood, might share one single line. It would ring a specific phone that was called, but if you picked up while other people are using that phone, you could end up in their conversation. You could just sit there and listen, or you could actually tell them, get off the phone, I'm trying to call the police. Someone's breaking in my house. So if the mayor has a cell phone and calls someone on the party line, they can all pick up their phones as long as they know there's a phone call going on and actually be in the same conversation like that.
I just like that all of these conspirators are hopping on the party line. Like it's
Where
like a
anyone
bus.
else can pick up and be like, oh, that sounds like an interesting plan. What does it take to be part of these
I'm
force
in.
protected?
Jenny Fury. The moral of the story is, when the neighbor dies, you become the new one. It's like the Santa Claus.
When you push Santa Claus on the roof, you become Santa. But who becomes the mayor? Does that work for the mayor? Because they killed the mayer. Who's the new mayor?
Mr. Sepperton would have become the new mayor because he
Except-
killed the mayor.
Oh, I was
But
like...
then all the cultists would become the new neighbor because they killed it. Quentin didn't kill the neighbor.
No, that's a good
But
point.
they did say when the neighbor dies.
Yes,
Yes.
So-
that's true.
There must always be a neighbor in the neighbor's house.
I like how quickly he just got a new vest for himself and started taking up milk drinking.
As though it's like a sport. Like, oh, I'm a minor league milk drinker. Dog cat. Wow, I can't believe they got an actor as big as Bill on this one. Must have got a big budget. Oh, Bill works for free, actually.
Bill
You know,
Room and board.
yes, Bill was in this. Bill is
He got
credited.
credited.
He got credited in this.
Someone's been skipping the subscribe screen, obviously.
Bill was the stunt double for Jason for getting his head bashed over for some of the shots.
Yeah. No, it was a nice project for Bill to get recognized for. It got a lot of views on it. Bill's rates have gone up since. Bill's insurance has stayed the same, thankfully.
Bill has gotten his own stunt double, also named Bill.
That's true.
It's Halloween season soon.
No!
I could go to Spirit
Bill
Halloween
Squad.
and buy a third Bill.
They just multiply year by year.
And then
More
we could
more
call
Bills.
them the 3 Bill Sketeers.
The 3 Cab Billeros.
Ah, that's even better.
Club Bill is gonna look great.
Club Bill.
Okay,
Club
so
Bill.
I need to say we're moving houses, and AJ wants to take one of the upstairs rooms and turn it into Club
Bill.
Bill.
The good news is every time we go out of town, we can like Home Alone rig up all the bills to look like
Dance. Yeah.
we have like one
Wander
sitting reading
by.
a newspaper and the other one just like pacing back and forth.
The very last comment is from Mario's Dinosaur Adventures, and they said, "Yo, we need a sequel to this. There are a lot of things to catch up on. Are the townsfolk still in the neighborhood? If they are, then what will they do about Quentin being the new neighbor?"
I am so glad that this was asked because we're not doing a sequel. But we talked about doing a sequel. We discussed doing a sequel where the Force Protectors have gone free, as the newspaper says. Quentin is living as the new neighbor in the neighbor's house, and maybe it circles back around to now the neighbor is kidnapping people and imprisoning them in his house. And we follow a new character who gets suspicious and starts poking around and discovers a bunch of the Forest Protectors are being kidnapped and taken hostage in the neighbor's house. How cool would that be? The moral grayness of being like, well, these guys are dirtbags, but this guy's kind of weird and a dirtbag, and I'm just a neutral third party stumbling in. What do I do?
It would have been fun. I could have been locked in a basement. Someone could have had to come rescue me for once.
I mean, fun fact, regardless of filming anything, we can probably lock you in the basement.
Alright, that's all the comments today. Thank you so much for leaving them. Please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. We want to see you here every week behind the scenes of Random Encounters with us. Also, stay tuned. There's going to be new musicals coming out soon on the main channel. And if you want to support Random Encounters, you can do so with a link to our Patreon down below or by buying merch.
Like this.
Like that! Like that! Like that! Like that! I'm the only one that's wearing merch that's not available right now. You can buy their merch over on our store in the description below. Beard salute! Ooh!